Damn. Damn, boy. Damn, boy, he's thick. Boy, that's a thick-ass boy. Damn.
Years ago, I saw a comment on one of Anthony Fantano's videos. I can't find the exact comment, so you're gonna have to take my word for it, but the comment read, "The front bottoms suck, and I love them so much." I've never identified so heavily with a comment in my entire life. It's not that I think the front bottoms actually suck, I just get why people would say that. I get why they receive the criticism they do and why people poke fun at them, but I think a majority of it comes from a place of love, like all the uncomfortable memes and tweets that say stuff like, the front bottoms could be like, I am a roast beef sandwich, but you don't eat red meat, and y'all would cry over it. And from a scientific standpoint, that is the truth.
This song has a very, very bad curse in it. So.
In the past 5 years, the Front Bottoms have gone from a notable indie, emo, folk punk band to literal rock stars. It's hard to believe how big they are now. I discovered them in 2013, around the time Talon was coming out, and they were actually the reason why I made friends with this dude named Danny in my chemistry class my junior year. At the time, I already felt like they were gargantuan and maybe even working their way towards the mainstream, but looking back, they were straight up just getting started. Today we're going to discuss what makes the Front Bottoms so great, and we of course got to talk about their upcoming album, In Sickness and In Flames. The first and most important thing you need to know about the Front Bottoms is, they aren't a band. They're actually an entire vibe. As you're cringing, let me explain. The Front Bottoms craft the ideal blend of carefree but also care about a lot of stuff type of music. It all sounds so lighthearted yet impassioned while discussing real topics and life events, but they do so in such a way that even hard-hitting subjects feel whimsical and almost silly at times, but not in such a way to where it feels like they're downplaying the seriousness of a situation. Like on their song Lone Star, Brian sings about an abortion. Goodbye future once so bright, meet my pregnant girlfriend, watch my bank account run dry, $437 spent to put things back to the way they used to be. They have a way of making insignificant details and events seem so important and heavy, and vice versa, like on their song Father. I have this dream that I'm hitting my dad with a baseball bat and he is screaming and crying for help, and maybe halfway through it has more to do with me killing him than it ever did protecting myself. When I listen to the Front Bottoms, my mind is flooded with these random and obscure memories that wouldn't have entered my mind if I didn't choose to listen to the Front Bottoms that day. I'm reminded of the time my grandfather took me to a gas station off the freeway in 2005 and bought me the now discontinued Pepsi Blue. I remember the time my cousin Ben and I almost accidentally committed an act of arson. Well, actually, that was a lot of times. And the time my old friends and I ran out of gas because I'm actually that dumb. I was like, guys, there's something seriously wrong with the car. I recall playing Uno and doing arts and crafts on the bedroom floor of this cute girl's room that I didn't even know at the time. It all comes rushing in, like when McDonald's had the Szechuan sauce summer 2017. It's such an unimportant detail that has nothing to do with anything, but it's the only thing I remember from when I cut your hair. Before we proceed, are all of you familiar with that dumb saying, that fog is so thick we could cut it with a knife, or whatever? I have an even worse saying that I made up. When it comes to the Front Bottoms, the honesty they employ in their songs is so tangible, you could grab it and stretch it like silly putty.
Matt!
The lyrical content Brian authors is so painfully authentic that you want to be like, bro, just be fake for a little bit, you know? I had this exact reaction this morning as I was leaving the Winco parking lot, listening to TFB in preparation for this video, and I heard Brian sing the line, I love girls with ex-boyfriends that they aren't really over. And in my head, I was like, dude, I just don't really want to be called out like that this early in the morning, but I also kind of do. And that's what I really respect about Brian Sella. In his songs, he doesn't try to portray himself as a good or bad person. He doesn't ever take the moral high ground or even low ground. He just sings honestly about about life stuff and we can make of it what we want. As funny as it sounds, the Front Bottoms are a lot like the Joe Rogan podcast, because I remember one time I heard Joe say something like, "Weed is fire." No, I'm just kidding, but he said something like, anytime you cut anything out of a conversation, it becomes inauthentic and manufactured. And that's the way I feel about Brian's lyrics. It feels like he leaves nothing out. He doesn't omit a detail because he thinks it'll make him look bad, and he doesn't include something just for the sake of making himself look good. Brian is an extremely charismatic individual, all things considered. From the way he writes his lyrics, to the way he delivers them, strums his guitar, all the way down to the way he carries himself. He's like the David Dobrik of indie music. It's so fun watching him and their drummer Matt interact because you can tell they've been best friends for so long. They've been at this since 2007, and for the most part, it's just been Matt and Brian the whole time, with the exception of touring members and a couple people that were in the band for a short period. But other than that, it's just been Matt and Brian bonding and creating music together over the past decade. They both come across as so normal and down to earth, even this many years into their career.
See you again. Yeah. I think this is our fourth or fifth one.
This was four, I think.
I've seen a lot of your
That's
shows
so
now.
awesome.
What does it mean to play such a historic New Jersey venue?
The Pony. It's cool. I mean, I think it's our biggest headlining.
Brian's voice can best be described as nasally, but I mean that in the most complimentary way possible. If he were to sing any other way, it just wouldn't feel as real.
I've got big, big plans, and I can see them slipping through, almost feel them slipping through the palms of my sweaty hands.
His voice meshes perfectly with Matt's powerful and energetic drumming. Musically, they keep it simple, which is an element I believe adds more to their music than takes away. I've said this before, but simple doesn't necessarily mean good or bad. Music can be simple and good, or simple and bad. It's on a case-by-case basis. And when it comes to the Front Bottoms, it's a good thing, because they do it so well. The production feels raw and real while maintaining a clear degree of professionalism. It feels very high effort, yet still slightly imperfect at times. And most of the comments I'm making about their music, by the way, are in reference to this album specifically. A majority of the comments still apply to their later work, but they have made changes over the years from album to album, so just something to keep in mind. When you take Brian's nasally singing, simple guitar playing, and mix it with Matt's cathartic drumming and lyrics about setting off legal fireworks, and sprinkle in a little voicemail from some random female, you get something that just works. Don't ask me why, it just does. And as of right now, over 1 million people on Spotify also agree. Streaming numbers aren't everything, but that's a lot of people who want to hear Brian sing about carrying around a dead spider in his pocket. Here's the part where I get negative, but not too negative because it'll be followed up by good news. So I thought their last album was by far a step down from the previous three. Self-Titled is my favorite of all time, no competition. I love Talon as well, and after nearly half a decade, Back on Top has grown on me like mold. In fact, I'd say it's as good as Talon, if not better at points. But when it comes to Going Gray, I just didn't like it at all. It felt off.
All the time, Matt's like, oh, I got this idea for a picture, like, we could both be naked, like, laying on top of each other. I'm like, all right, that's fine, you know, nude.
We try, it doesn't work out that good, we keep it for ourselves.
Yeah, nobody sees the picture, right?
It didn't have that weird manic Front Bottoms energy I'd grown so used to. Even with Back on Top, I felt like they lost that a little bit, and, got that fueled by ramen energy going. Going Gray just felt completely devoid of anything Front Bottoms. And that's the thing, I honestly don't think it's a bad or terrible piece of music, it's just not for me. The album was definitely off-putting, but nothing could make me lose faith in this group and stop following them. So when they announced their new album/music, I was equally curious as I was excited. I was selfishly hoping it would sound more like their self-titled than anything, but was doubtful because why would they do that? But my selfish thinking actually came true, and I could not be more excited for this album. It sounds like a return to form, but with some twists. I think this album will be a fresh 2020 mix of their self-titled and Talon, fun, catchy, good melodies, fun hooks, maybe even a voicemail if we're lucky. As soon as I heard the debut single Camouflage, I just smiled to myself and was like, they're back. The song even has Brian doing that thing where he's almost talking and singing at the same time, and it just feels so good. And it doesn't even feel like they're rehashing old ideas. It all feels new, but so familiar at the same time. And I think for a year like 2020, we need something like this. We need something to make us feel good, and maybe sad too, but in the right type of way. It's been such a weird experience watching them grow from a good-sized rock band to a group that plays festivals like Coachella. And I honestly couldn't be happier for them. If any band has earned it, it's them. In Sickness and In Flames drops August 21st, and I can't freaking wait. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, and thank you for watching. Wait, hold on really quick before you go. I'm going to be launching some merchandise for the channel soon. Go follow at Mates Club USA on Instagram if you care and want to stay updated. It's all going to be really high quality in terms of garments and design. Promise I'm not selling out. I'm just going full pop doggy, my mates. For real though, love you all, and I'll see you very soon.